Well, Jet fans, it's Tuesday, a little after midnight, Tuesday morning specifically. Just got off of work, overnight shift. Was able to catch some of the Jet game, but honestly, from what I caught, I was not impressed. It's another one of those. It's gonna be another one of those seasons. It's not like I didn't say it maybe last week on the therapy stream or anything like that. And, I've said this multiple times before. I want this coaching staff to succeed because if they succeed, the Jets fans are happy and the team goes back to playoffs and so on and so forth. There's legitimately nothing you can believe in right now. There was a part of me, just a little part of me, that thought the Jets would somehow come together for this game. And, they've had two almost victories prior to this. They almost won the Steeler game. They almost won the Buck game. I was told about effort all week. I was told by numerous fans who came after me. And once again, I don't paint myself as a victim or a martyr of any kind. Oh, effort. He was applauding the effort. You're a clown. Why are you clowning Aaron Glenn? He was applauding effort. Well, are we going to count effort again? Because the Jets are there is nothing you can believe in with this team. Maybe Garrett Wilson, maybe Mason Taylor, who had a breakout game today. But who else on this roster can you believe that is possibly, growing, improving as a player? Sauce Gardner getting beat by a tight end who has not played in football for 2 fucking years. Darren Waller, that guy. Rapper Darren Waller. You have that. The numerous false start penalties, illegal formation, John Simpson jumping on the pile 15 yards after that. It is such an undisciplined team. And let me tell you this right now. If we were going to see the same stuff this year that we saw last year, why didn't you just keep Robert Saleh or Jeff Ulbrich? Because there's no point. There's absolutely no point. Obviously, some of the talent is different, but the habits are the same. Personal fouls, offsides, pass interference, illegal formation. This team overall is not well coached. And Aaron Glenn, I know Connor Hughes tweeted out that we could even hear Aaron Glenn yelling. I don't give a fuck about Aaron Glenn yelling. I don't care at this point. I don't think any reasonable Jet fan cares at this point about Aaron Glenn yelling because you know what? It's one thing if the team ended, 1-3 this month. They were like, okay, you salvaged the month with a victory, or you beat the Bucs 1-3, so on and so forth. You're 0-4. Wins do matter, by the way, in my opinion, this season. It shows progress, and there is none right now. You're a quarter of the way through the season. I know it's a 17 game, not a 16 game. You're a quarter of the way through the season, and what progress is there? What shows you that this team is turning the corner anytime soon? What are we going to fall for? 3 victories at the end of the season? Say, hey, that's progress. What are we going to say? Oh, we're going to beat the Saints. We're going to beat the Panthers. The Dolphins were 0-4 coming into this fucking game. Had they lost, Mike McDaniel probably would have gotten fucking fired. Instead, you give the Dolphins something to play for because you have nothing to play for. This team is gutless. This team is soft. This team is not well coached. As I said, I thought there was a part of me, maybe they pull it out tonight. There is nothing you can believe in with this team. Nothing. And here's another thing. Let's go back to our defense, offense, special teams, right? They cut Xavier Gibson after week 1. Fair. I said it was a reaction rather than being proactive. Whatever. They bring in this kid, Isaiah Williams, who I believe was with the Bengals and the Lions. Lions last year. Aaron Glenn's staff knew him. Lions, whatever. So, despite the return game not being at all impressive this year at any point, Isaiah Williams not only fumbles a kick return, or was it a punt return, I'm not sure, gives the Dolphins the ball. You also had Isaiah Williams calling a fair catch at the 2 fucking yard line. The 2, not the 15, not the 10, not the ball, letting the ball bounce. How do you call a fair catch at the 2 yard line? How? How do you expect your offense to succeed from the 2 yard line? You know what's funny? You had I believe the Dolphins scored a field goal to open the game because the defense is trash and had penalties. So the Jets could march down the field, and they're pretty close. Braylon Allen fumbles the football as I think he was about to get across the goal line or something along those lines. They were in the red zone. The Jets were about to score, but no, another mental error, a fumble. So what happens is the Dolphins not only score, they go 96 yards down the field for a touchdown. And that's the Darren Waller touchdown I was talking about. But there's so many mental errors, so much bad coaching, and you don't even, I don't know what Aaron Glenn said in the press conference. I don't care to, because once again, it is falling on deaf ears. Maybe he is in over his head. Let me tell you something right now, and I've seen some comments. I've seen people who are positive on Glenn saying, you know what, this coach might actually be over his head. He probably won't get fired, but he's still in over his head. This OC is over in his head. People praised, including myself, after week 1. This constant run, or run 30 long pass is not working. It's not. It's like almost ultra conservative. And I get it, the Jets want to establish a ground game, but there's nothing there. They're not well coached on the offensive line either. They're getting exposed week after week after week. There's more questions week after week. There's more warts week after week after week with this team. It's like the season's over before October. I don't know if I rhymed there, but regardless, the season is over before the month of October. It is September 30th? And the team is 0-4. They're not going to be in contention. It's going to be one of those years where Jets fans are going to root on the tank, and hey, they should. But here's the thing. There's a caveat. Do you trust this coaching staff to evaluate the best quarterback? Not only evaluate the best quarterback, draft the best quarterback, and develop that quarterback to be the franchise star. Here's the short answer for me. Through 4 games, no, not at all. I do not want this regime drafting a quarterback, whether it's Darren Muji or Aaron Glenn. Glenn, obviously, he's been a fraud, in my personal opinion. I think his staff is trash. Steve Wilks is just a guy. I was actually high on that hire somewhat, but I realized that he was just a guy in Cleveland and Carolina. And in San Francisco, the defensive foundation that DeMeco Ryans and Robert Saleh built collectively, that Wilks just was just carried by talent. There's nothing special about what he does defensively, none. But I don't know, man. It's gonna be once again one of those years where we're 0-4, obviously to start. This is probably the worst start the Jets have had. Let me try to think. Since 2020, I think. 2021 they were 1-3. 2022, they were 2-2, I want to say. Yeah, because they beat the Steelers at the end of the month. It was actually October, regardless. 2023, they weren't even this bad. 2024, they weren't even this bad. They were 2-2. But again, it's almost as worse as Saleh, but you still have the same issues. And once again, must I say, if these issues were going to persist with the Jets, the penalties, not the bad coaching, why not just keep Saleh? Because there's no point. There's no point in watching football on Sundays anymore. If you're a fan and you don't want to, that's fine. If you have another team, whether you're a basketball fan or a hockey fan or your baseball team like mine, the Yankees are in the playoffs. Actually starting to kind of get excited because today is technically the wild card game. You're a Knicks fan, you're a Rangers fan, Islanders fan, Devils fan, Nets fan, whatever. Go watch them, honestly, because this is going to be a waste of time. It's going to be another year where, again, I apologize for repeating myself. The Jets are out of the playoffs way before Halloween, and then you have to somewhat self-satisfy yourself and lower the bar for some sort of expectations that you originally didn't have before the season. Now, my message to the fan base is demand better. I said this team should be able to win 7 games. And I predicted 5. Who knows if they're going to get 5 wins? And when we're going to tout it as progress, it's a downgrade. It's a downgrade. I apologize. My light just shut off. I'm going to turn it back on again. Well, I can't. Yeah, it's off. But there's nothing else to say. I apologize once again for my light going out, but there's nothing else to say. Tonight at 9, after the wild card game, catch me on Gangrene Chronicles. I will be doing a therapy session. Comments as usual, Q&A. You guys can sound off. Hit the like button, subscribe as always. I appreciate every single one of you through this dark time as a Jet fan. But stay tuned because I might rant tomorrow, but this is going to be a hell of a long season. And it's going to be one season where we don't know what this team is going to be. And we're going to have so many more questions than answers. Talk to y'all later.